When the noble gas helium is liquefied and cooled below 2.17 degrees absolute, it becomes possible to observe certain unique and fascinating physical effects. These phenomena are the properties of a fluid which behaves according to quantum mechanics, on a scale directly visible in the laboratory. In our demonstrations with helium, we use liquid nitrogen as a bath in the outer section of a double vacuum flask or dewar. In other words, the dewar which will hold the helium is inside another vacuum flask containing nitrogen.
Liquid coming out of this tube is liquid nitrogen, and it's at 77 degrees Kelvin. It's now entering the outer vacuum jacketed vessel and will eventually fill it up. We're about to transfer liquid helium into the inner vacuum jacketed vessel, and the reason it's jacketed is so that it reduces the heat leak from the laboratory. We have liquid nitrogen then, which you can now see coming in along here, outside that vacuum jacket at 77 degrees, so that when the helium looks out, it sees a temperature of 77 degrees instead of the room, which is at 300 degrees. Outside of the nitrogen is another vacuum jacketed vessel or dewar, which keeps the nitrogen from seeing the room temperature. Normally all the glassware in here is silvered to further reduce the heat leak, but for these demonstrations we've made it unsilvered so you can see clearly what's going on.
Below 2.17 degrees, the so-called lambda point, liquid helium is described as a superfluid. What this really means is that the liquid has two components. One component, the normal one, has the same properties as liquid helium above 2.17 degrees. The other component, called the superfluid component, has the unique properties of a quantum fluid. At normal atmospheric pressure, helium becomes liquid when it is cooled below 4.2 degrees on the Kelvin or absolute scale. This is 269 degrees colder than 0 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, 4.2 degrees Kelvin, everything else in the world would be solid. We'll dramatize this by doing the unthinkable in normal lab work, letting air into the dewar.